All right, thus far we have talked about how to cast on. We just got done in the last video showing you how to knit, and if you want to jump back to the knit video, click the little I in the upper right hand corner here. So we've cast on, we've knit, now we're going to learn to purl, and then after purl we're going to learn to cast off. So after all that, sky's the limit for you. All right, so the purl is basically the opposite of a knit stitch. And you can see the knits, if you only knit on one side, you get these lovely little V's. And if you only do purls on one side, you get these lovely little purls. All right, so what we're gonna do now is do purl. And truly, just so I drive this home, the purl is the opposite side of a knit stitch. This is a knit stitch right here. If we flip it over, it's a purl stitch. So basically, we're just doing a knit stitch in reverse for the purl, all right? So, and everything's a little different. When we knit, let me just show you, we went in from left to right. Our needle was underneath, and we brought up our yarn was in the back, right? Okay, that's how we did a knit. For a purl, we're gonna go in from right to left. So already that's different. Our yarn's gonna stay up front, so that's different. When we did the knit, this right hand needle was underneath our left hand needle. When we're purling, our needle is on top. So everything's just a little bit different, just the opposite of the knit. All right, so to purl, we're going in from the right to the left so that your right hand needle is on top of your left hand needle. You're going to take your yarn, which stays up front, and you're going to wrap it around counterclockwise. That's the one thing that does stay the same. And then it's the same thing. We're going to push this, we're going to pull down with our right hand, create a little tension on that yarn we just wrapped. We're going to use our thumb to push that needle out a little, and we're going to grab that new little stitch. All right, just like in knitting, but we're just working it in opposite. So once again, right to left, the right hand needle stays on top of the left hand needle. The yarn goes around counterclockwise, and we're going to use our thumb to push it out and pull up that little loop there and create that purl stitch. All right, so let's just keep doing that. From right to left with the right hand needle on top, take our yarn that's up front, wrap it around, and we're gonna pull that little loop out. Okay. Now, when I told you that if you knit every single row, you would get a garter stitch, same thing. If you purl every single row, you're going to get the same exact looking garter stitch. All right. So once again, we're going to go from right to left with our right hand needle on top of our left hand needle. We're going to take our yarn, wrap it around counterclockwise, push it with our thumb just a little bit to get that new loop, and then we're going to slowly slip it off the left hand needle. Okay, slipped off the left hand needle. All right, and then just like knitting, we just turn it around. All right, now remember we purled on this side, so we've got these little purls, right? But if we turn it over, we have knitting, right? Because we know that the purl is the back side of a knit. But we're gonna continue to purl here. So we're gonna be creating garter stitch pattern. All right, so right to left with the right hand needle on top of the left hand needle, wrap it around, pull out your little loop on the back, let it slide off the left hand needle. All right to left, the right hand needle on top of the left hand needle, the yarn up front always, wrap it around counterclockwise between the two needles, and then there's that stitch. Right to left, counterclockwise, pull the new stitch on the right needle, the old stitch off of the left needle. Right to left, right needle on top of left needle, yarn counterclockwise. All right, give it a little tension so that that little stitch is easy to pull off. Okay, and you'll get to the point where this is just kind of one fluid motion, the pushing down of the needle and the slipping back and pulling off. All right, so that's the purl stitch. And once again, this is when we purled every row, right? This is when we knit every row. Once again, they're the same exact fabric because, as we know, they're just the opposite of each other. Okay, here's my knits, and there's my purls. So once again, garter stitch and stocking stitch, or you might hear it referred to as stockinette stitch. For stockinette stitch, we knit a row, then when we turn it over, we purl a row. We get to that, we turn it over again, we knit a row. You alternate knit, purls, knit, purls. For garter stitch, you just pick one, either a knit or a purl, and you knit that every row, or you knit or purl that every row. Okay? If you have any questions, pop them in down below. And next we're going to talk about how to cast off.